Thank you.
Oh, and
So hello, everybody. I introduced myself a little bit outside. If you came in after I introduced myself, I am Dr. Rhonda Taylor. I'm the superintendent of the school district. And working with this team here that I'm super excited about. So I'm going to have you guys so that they can see you. We have Mrs. Brooke Dexheimer. She is going to be our teaching vice principal up here, and she'll be taking our middle school students. We have Miss Brenda Potts, and she will be taking our TKK, how many?
TK through 2, kindergarten, second,
Okay,
first.
right, okay. And then we have Mrs. Elizabeth Upchurch, and she is going to take the rest of it.
3 through 5, not the rest.
Yeah.
3 through 5.
So I'm excited to work with this team. I have worked with them before. A little bit about myself. I was 22 years in the Lakeside District, and then I wanted to see how a larger district worked. And so I went to Poway. I was 6 years as a principal in Poway. Then while I was in Poway, I ran for school board here because I love Lakeside. So I never really left Lakeside. I just did a different role there. And then I came back as the superintendent when that became available, interviewed, and was hired for that position. So I'm a longtime Lakeside person. I love it here. And what I love about it so much is that we have been on the cutting edge of a lot of things. So for example, our immersion program, when we started ours, there really weren't very many immersion programs out there. Now everybody has one, right? We started with technology. We were one of the first districts to really do a really robust technology program. And now everybody has technology. So we have around our community, not our community, but in the school district community, there are a lot of STEAM schools. There are a lot of this, whatever your tag is of the moment, right? So then you'll see a school pop up like that. We have changed the name. This is going to be the Dream Academy. It is the Dream Academy. And so that's design, research, engineering, agriculture, and mathematics. And so that's going to be our focus. We're working on creating a system that will be very project-based. So kids will have hands-on learning. Some of you may come to the campus 3 times a week. Some of you may not. It doesn't matter. We'll do a really great education for those who are here in person and those who are not. I understand that some people told me and really felt that you were offered a 5-day-a-week program this year. I apologize if that was the case. We were talking about debating this, but it's all about how many we have enrolled. We fund based on enrollment. And so we just don't have enough to get that lifted right now. So we're doing the 3-day-a-week. They will be here 4 hours a day with the exception of Wednesday because we have an early release on Wednesday due to the fact that it's the district-wide day that all the schools release early. The teachers get together and they do their learning and their PLCs, which is where they look at student data. We design intervention systems for our kids and things like that. If they need that help, then we want to make sure that we have time to come together as teams and pick each other's brain and design a way to help them. So that's where we are so far. This team I have worked with before, so I have great confidence in their abilities. So at Lakeview, where I was the principal at Lakeview for many years, I guess for quite a while, I worked with this team. I tapped on Mrs. Upchurch's shoulder when I wanted to create a multi-age technology-based program. And so she was willing to do that, which was not, it was new at the time. Nobody else had it done. And so had a couple of teachers get on board for that. I've worked with Mrs. Potts. She's very innovative and creates a very loving, caring environment for our students and her students. And Mrs. Dexheimer, I met her as a parent. And then she was getting her teaching credential. And so she did some subbing around. She's worked at River Valley Charter School and knows that system pretty well. And so she's bringing her expertise. She's been over at TDS for quite a while now with Project Lead the Way and science. She's really big into science. And so I'll let you guys talk about your own experiences in just a minute. Okay. So that's a team that we have. I'm excited about it. I got them last week. Literally last week. So I'm asking, I said it in the letter, please be patient and kind with us while we lift this new program up. It's not going to be 100% the first day of school. So I'm just honest and transparent about that out the bat. But we want to create an amazing learning experience for your children. And that's what we're all about. I'm going to quit talking for a minute and let you guys introduce yourselves just a little bit and talk about your history. Okay, you guys are getting like a parent night before anybody else.
So again, my name is Brooke Dexheimer, and I've spent the last 6 years working in Project Lead the Way, which is a kind of an engineering program. So I have a couple certifications to teach courses in Project Lead the Way. I also have a background in agriculture. So I went to college and studied agriculture and then biology. And I just recently got my administrative credentials. So I'm taking on the administrative role here as well as teaching the middle school. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, and she's really nice.
And I think Dr. Taylor forgot to mention, she was a student teacher at Lakeview Elementary. Right.
Right, so I started here, yep.
So I'm Brenda Potts. I've taught kindergarten for 27 years. So imagine me trying to move a classroom after 27.
In the same room.
In the same room.
So I've taught kindergarten and I've also taught second grade, but my love is for kindergarten and the younger kids. So that's what I'm looking forward to, TK through second grade. And I also went to the district. I went to Riverview, LMS, LCAP, and my stomping grounds were Eucalyptus Hills. Is where all my friends lived. So I know this area very well.
I didn't know that. I did too. I went to Lakeview, TDS, and LCAP.
Helix High, anyone? I'm Elizabeth Upchurch. This is my 23rd year. I've spent the last 14 years at Lakeview, mostly third grade, but I've been at every school teaching every grade. When Mr. Mitzel told me about an opportunity to come up here, I couldn't resist. So I immediately let my principal know that I was coming up here. I'm so excited to be a part of this program, and I've got so many ideas that I can't wait to implement here and just make this a great school.
Mhm. Okay. So the plan for this school is there are two paths. You have the exclusively homeschool path. If you don't want to be on campus or your kids can't be on campus for whatever reason, then that is an option for you. The teachers, once we get rolling, do you want me to do this part as well?
I can talk if you want me to.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to the boss here. So if you want to sit down with it, or
Sure. I think you can see me. I stand right here, and if you can hear me, if you can't hear me, just wave. So our plan is with the two programs where we will have a morning Zoom every morning, and we're right now we're going to schedule it for 9 o'clock, and it's going to be with the grade level spans. So Ms. Potts will have her K through 2, and Ms. Upchurch will have 3 through 5, and then I will have the middle school. And so we're going to make it a requirement for you. If you have things and you're not going to make it, let us know, because we know that it is a flexible thing, but we want to just make sure that we are touching base with your students every day, so that we can ask them, how's it going, and also make sure that they are getting some interaction with other students in their class and that they feel a part of the school a little bit. So when we first start out, that we're going to make sure that we have those morning meetings every morning at 9 o'clock. And then as we move forward, we'll start having times where we will have some tutoring, and then planning a couple different, I know that they've had like art classes and things like that until we get started in our 3-day and get everybody on campus. Once we get everybody on campus, or whoever wants to come on campus for the Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we decided we wanted to start a little bit earlier so that we could get more time on Wednesday, because if we started at 10, it would only be 2.5 hours. So we're going to go from 9 to 1. So we'll start at 9 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we'll get out at 1 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and at 12:30 on Wednesdays. If you come to campus on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then you'll participate in that morning Zoom, but you'll be in class. So it'll be an in-person, but we're still going to invite the students who are at home to come and join in our classroom, so that, again, we're making sure that they're still a part of our class and that they have that interaction, and we'll do some different social emotional learning things and just kind of be that morning meeting and check in with us to make sure that they're getting the things that they need and that they're being able to do the work, and that it will be a student. So parents, you don't have to come to all of those, you don't have to come to those morning meetings. We will have one on Monday, and I'll give you the paper for the important dates for next week. So on Monday at 10 a.m. we will have a school-wide Zoom, and at that time we would like parents to come. You guys have come to this, so you're getting a lot of the information, but just in case, to make sure. And we just wanted everybody to kind of meet everybody else, and so all the students can see each other and kind of get to know our school a little bit, since we won't be in person right away. Also, so once we get started, we're going to start a little different. So we'll start with some packet work, only because not everybody has technology yet. Okay, so I'm working on that too. This year, something different is everybody's going to have Chromebooks. It's set for our TKer. Right. So if you have an iPad that you've had previously, then when we have when the Chromebooks come, we'll just do an exchange. So I'll ask you to bring your iPad, and then we'll be giving you a Chromebook. And the reason why we're doing this is because we found that the curriculum that we use, the online platform, works better on the Chromebook. So to prevent any of that frustration, we're going to, I don't know if everybody knows, but a Chromebook is kind of like a mini laptop that runs like through a Google platform. So it will you'll be able to have the keyboard and all that stuff, which is kind of a great thing. Kids are going to start learning keyboarding very early instead of that touch, because sometimes it's difficult to move from the touch to the keyboard. So they'll have the opportunity early on. So right now, technology is working on getting our Chromebooks made. As soon as I get the okay from them, then you will be getting notification from me when we're going to have pickup for your Chromebooks, or that exchange if you have an iPad. So the goal for starting next week is that we'll start with the packets, get the Chromebooks. We're also in the process of getting our online program up and running, and so we are working on that. We're probably going to be 2, maybe 3, hopefully not 3 weeks, but at least 2 weeks out before we will be able to provide the Edgenuity, which is the online core curriculum that we're going to be using. And so as soon as we get it, I want to have a parent information meeting, so that I can and then some training to make sure if you've used it before, maybe you can help other parents. If not, then we can train you and make sure that you know how to use the program, because really you're the instructional coach. It is like an independent study program. So as the independent study program, it will be your job to coach your students through using the program. The plan when they come on campus is that any the interventions that they need, but we want to run kind of this through a project-based learning. So we're touching on the standards, but we're not teaching them kind of like linear that they're getting in the Edgenuity, but that we're touching on all of those, so they're being able to work with the standards and kind of apply them when they come here, and making sure that they're understanding all that, but that it's engaging and fun. And we want to run it through robotics and agriculture and kind of through that science lens, so that they're active and doing things. And we have an amazing garden, and we want to grow it and kind of have more agriculture out there. But we also have the robotics program from the Legos, right? So we're going to be using that. So it's going to be kind of project-based when they come here, but still standard-based, but the projects. And then in the background is that Edgenuity, where they're getting the core, and you will be the instructional coaches for that. And we are here to support you with that. Okay, that we're always here. Call us and we'll work with you to make sure that your student is getting what they need, and that you have the ability to help them to do that. Missing anything?
Did good.
Okay. So next week, we have the important dates for next week. So it will be Monday, will be that orientation kind of morning meeting at 10 o'clock. And then on Tuesday, We're going to have a time frame 8:30 to 10:30 for pickup for you to come and get the curriculum packets that we're starting with. And then as soon as I know about the technology, I will let you know, and we'll move forward with that. The sooner we can get that, then we can start using some other online platforms. So especially for middle school, I'll be giving you some programs that we'll be using kind of for the math and the science, and that's online versus just pen and paper. But for the little ones right now, we're going to move with the pen and paper until we know for sure that we have the technology and that they can use that technology. And so we want to make sure they're still getting the content and the curriculum as we're moving into before we get onto that online.
So just to clarify, Monday is our school-wide Zoom. Tuesday's the product pickups, and then Wednesday we'll start our classroom Zooms.
Yes, thank you.
And
Yes.
that would be at 9 o'clock. The reason Monday we're starting at 10 is because that's the first day of school for a lot of children. So we want to give you that time out. You have to stress out to be on Zoom at 9 o'clock. So we're doing that at 10, and then the regular Zooms start at 9
Yes.
on Wednesday.
And we're hoping that if you don't have a technology device, your student doesn't have one until we get a Chromebook, that if you have a cell phone, if you could just pop them on it for that 30 minutes at 9 o'clock for this week or next week, the end of the week, that would be great. If for some reason you don't have access to that and you can't, just let your teachers know. We want to be in communication with you all the time. Whatever is coming up, just let us know, and then we can work with it and go from there. But if you don't communicate, then we don't know. So we ask that you're please in communication with us. Yes, ma'am.
Is that per class, like different teachers are doing the Zoom, or is it one person doing?
We're going to do grade level spans. So Miss Potts will do kindergarten through second grade, and Miss Upchurch will do 3, 5, and I will do middle school. So we're going to do
So-
grade level
So,
spans.
okay, so I'll have a 6th and 7th grader, so it's one Zoom.
One Zoom.
For 6th and 7th
Yes.
grade.
Yes.
Oh, so
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Yes, that'll be
We
perfect.
will be giving you equipment.
Yeah, eventually, but I mean, just like.
Yes.
this week. Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll have it by then.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
My question is this half-hour Zoom that they're going to be doing in the morning.
Yes.
Is it actually going to be learning-based this year? Because last year it was stuff like, what's your favorite color when you're at Taco Bell? And that just seemed like a total waste of time.
Let me.
And
address that.
I'm trying not trying to sound like a little jerk here, but literally it wasted my kids' time last year. It wasted our time. I liked Mr. M, but that was the stupidest thing to do for children. I mean, they should be learning during that time and talking to their classmates, yes, but I don't care what his favorite color is. I care what he's learning about,
Okay.
you know?
Let me take that one. So for you guys at home, I'm going to reiterate the question. A parent was asking, in that time that they're doing their morning meeting with the teacher, is that going to be academic based, or is that going to be asking them what their favorite color is? So the thought around the morning meeting is that it's a social emotional learning time for the students. So we have programs that we follow, but we're doing the circle. How is your day going? Kind of, yeah. So, I mean, if that's not your jam, I get that.
It seemed like a waste. I mean, and it was every day, it was a weird question like that. And then they would watch a little, that 30 minutes, 20 minutes of it was a video.
Right.
And it wasn't even about anything really important.
The intent of this is, yes, so it's a social circle where there might be certain questions, or there might be a positive behavior intervention program lesson going.
Their social was muted. They
Right.
weren't allowed to
To
chat.
chat, right. gotcha.
There was no social other than.
Yeah.
So what
so
would
how
be
is that gonna be corrected?
typically happening in that, it would be like talking about, how are you doing today? You would greet your students and say, hey, how are you doing today? And then you would have maybe this student greet this student. Hi, John, my name is so-and-so, and how are you? But it is a social emotional learning time. But what we're doing is trying to mirror sort of what the experience that the kids on campus are having. And if you go to a regular school classroom in the morning, we all do this thing that we call morning meeting, so that we get everybody in a circle together. Some teachers follow a different model, but the whole thing is to set your tone and your learning intention for the day. This is what we need to do. This is how are you? I'm checking in with you. I'm making a relationship with my teacher, right? I'm getting that bonding, because kids will learn better when they have a strong relationship with their teacher. So that's just what research shows. So yes, I get that it's fluffy.
Sure.
Yes. So we'll try to make
Part two of
it
that is
more,
RSP and a clear speech right?
Mhm.
Who's gonna be doing RSP? for the-
They will have an RSP teacher and they will get their speech services. If they're not an on-campus
Do
kiddo,
we
then
know
that
who
would be,
RSP person is?
Yes.
do we have that
So we have,
information? I
so
don't know
we
yet.
do. Yes, we do.
So we're
we
asking,
have a
they're
new-
asking about RSP.
We have a
and
new RSP
speech.
teacher, so
Okay.
she is new too. We're all new, but she is here. She just came yesterday, so she'll be getting all of the IEPs and getting familiar with all of that. And so to make sure that we get those minutes, the speech and language, I don't know, last year, did they do it here? We could talk
Well,
more
it was
person. Zoom, okay, so it will be provided the same way this year, but there will be a new RSP teacher. And so she will be in contact and I will be in contact with you also, and we'll make sure that we work that out. Our morning meetings will be a little bit different this year, only because we're doing spans of grade level. So they're not going to be as small, right? Because they're, instead of 1 or 2 or 4 kids in 4th grade, they're going to be spans, which then kind of allow you to have more of that talking and dialogue and communication and things like that. So we're not just going to be watching videos and doing those things. There will be games, there will be the interaction, because some students who stay home and won't come to school when we finally have the 3 days, we want to make sure that they're still getting interaction with kids and having the opportunity to have those conversations and share things. Hey, I played this new game last night and it was totally amazing. I'm talking middle school because I've taught middle school for a long time. And, and I learned this new thing and it was so fun. And sometimes they talk to the same kids maybe in discourse, but they never get to talk to someone else who doesn't have any idea what that is. What are you talking about? Like, what is that? Can you share that with us? Because we're inviting them into our classroom to be a part of it if they never even step foot in here. And so that's what that 30 minutes is. And for me as a teacher, I want to see you. I want to see my kids. I want to see their faces and I want to know that they're being able to do the work and that they're understanding it and that they're learning. And if they're not, I need them to tell me that. And if I don't see them, I can look at their work and what they're doing and you can tell me that. But if I don't ever see them face to face and I don't hear it from them and I don't see that either excitement or frustration from them, it's hard to tell what's really going on. So that's a time for the teachers to really get that read of how the kids are doing. And so it will be different. It will be different. And I appreciate that. And we need that. Yeah. Yeah. And so, but it's just something that we think is really important and that, we want the kids to attend that.
I'll add something after.
I'm confused what you mean by span. So every time you do Zoom, it's going to be, are you doing 6, 7, 8 or just 7, 8?
I'm doing 6, 7, 8
So all your Zooms all the time will be 6, 7, 8 together
in the mornings.
in
Yes.
the morning? Because I know last year, sometimes it was all of them and sometimes you did do sometimes. Yes, with Mrs. Farron. And they did do academic stuff in junior high. They do their reading novel study and stuff.
Yes, because so last year there was a component that it was stipulated that you had to do an hour, certain amount of academic work online. So because we're here 3 days, we're going to be here 3 days a week. That's going to be a little bit less this year, but we will make sure that our students who are at home have the opportunity to still get some of that time. And we will have tutoring and through office hours to make sure that we get, and then if someone is online and not coming to school and we notice they're struggling, you're going to get a call. And we're going to say, I'm looking at the Edgenuity and I'm noticing that they're really struggling in fractions. And I would like to schedule a time where we can either with the instructional assistant or one of us that we're going to have a time where we want them to come and we're going to give some intervention on this. Okay, so we're monitoring that and we're going to be in communication with you for that. But in the morning, yes, that 9 o'clock will be the grade level, but the rest of it is it's just going to be a constant communication with you. So just, you to us, and we'll be in communication with you. And for the first month, there's going to be a lot of things that are changing, and we're adding things and trying to figure out what it is that we need. We need to know once we get everybody going, what it is that we need, and then we'll start adding those things. Instead of just saying all these things right now and then changing it all up. Yes, sorry. Oh, did you want to go, Ms.
No,
Potts?
go ahead. I was just, for TK through 2nd grade, part of our morning meeting is going to be it's social emotional too, but it's also a phonemic awareness through Haggerty. it's 7 minutes long, and that's going to be part of it. So it's learning, and then we talk about what we've learned through that, and then how is our day, and what are we going to learn as we move forward. So it's kind of a mix of both, going back to his question.
It is.
It is a
It'll
lot
be
of
good.
fun.
You'll be good. Yes, ma'am.
For the morning meetings, are they gonna, for the students that are coming in person, obviously they'll get like a more, like hands-on how or what to do on. Is that what it is?
Edgenuity.
Will they, on the morning meetings, will they get like, okay, this is what you're gonna be working on, and then they'll know ahead, what to do, or is it just very emotional?
So the kids that are coming in person will still participate in the 9 o'clock morning meeting. That will be the first part of the day because we'll be inviting the kids who are at home to join the meeting. So we'll have it in class and we'll have the students from at home do it. So we'll have morning meeting, and then after that, then it will be the project-based kind of learning, or if they need an intervention, those kind of things.
So as a parent,
so we
would
don't-
I have a guide like, okay, today she'll be working on this?
Wasn't it self-paced? in a way?
It is.
Oh, you mean for
self-paced.
Edgenuity?
Yeah.
So Edgenuity is done at home. So because we don't want them to come here and work on the computer. When they're here, we want them doing projects and involved in kind of like using the information that they're learning there and putting it to work, like through a project. And so, but if they're struggling with something and the use of the program, something like that, then yes, we will be able to help them with that. But to actually go through the lessons on Edgenuity, we're not going to be doing that. That's what they'll do at home. Yes. Yes, that will be the instructional.
Guide of what, or do I?
Yes,
take
we
from
will,
wherever?
we will make sure that you understand all of that when we get the program. It's easier to kind of go through when you can see it in front of you. And so as soon as we have that, then we will have another meeting and we will show you and talk about how that works. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
So last year, they were, at least at the beginning of the year, they were expected to do Edgenuity daily.
Yes.
Log on every day. Are they still gonna be expected to do that on the 3 days they're in person?
Yes,
But not as many minutes because
Not
we're
as many
counting,
minutes.
their minutes here.
yes.
For their minutes.
So are they expected then to keep up to finish the whole program if they're doing 3 days here? And then they're gonna go home and do another 4 hours to keep up? with
No,
the
this is a hybrid sort of situation. If they're coming onto campus. Now, if they're consistent with coming onto campus, what our discussion was, it's going to be hard because that program is designed to operate a certain way, right? And it's an online program, so it doesn't have a whole lot of input from us. But if they're here for 4 hours, we would reduce their minutes on the Edgenuity, but we'll have to figure that part of it out. I don't know that program very well. And I know that, I'm sorry, you guys, I know that some people love it and some people hate it. And so it's kind of that we're in that discovery phase right now. We might even be looking at some other things to look at, but right now that's what we have. We have to get started with what we have right now, and then we're trying to build this very unique program for you guys. So that's what we have to work with at this time. And then we'll make our adjustments after we get in there under the hood and we tinker around and see. And again, I'm going to ask you for some grace in the beginning because of the fact we just got this together last week, right? So we're kind of building this plane as we're flying it. But I wanted to give you the overview. My vision for this program is we are going to put these pieces into place. We're going to talk to each other. I'm going to be working closely with the team. I have the support of the school board to create this program. We're going to get it really tight this year. It's going to be a little bumpy and lumpy in the beginning. So I promise you that. I'm going to tell you right up front, okay? And then we're going to get this fine-tuned and perfected. Then I want to advertise it out everywhere, shout it from the mountaintop. We have this amazing program, get interest so that we will still have our homeschool program. If you want to be completely at home, you can still be completely at home. But we will be, hopefully, my plan is to offer a full-on 5-day program on campus next year, just like a traditional school day. It'll be multi-age classrooms because that's what we have to work with. But that is my plan, not with just these 3 teachers. We'll be bringing in some more teachers. If I can get the enrollment, if we can advertise it, get the word of mouth out there. And I want to build something that's very project-based, and that's how the kids are doing their learning, kind of a flip thing. I'm going to give you the information and you're going to go home and research it, and then you're going to come back and you're going to have a couple of choices on how you're going to show me you've learned this information. And so that is the goal moving forward.
So you're
It's going to take a little time.
So you're committed to giving us a couple of years to flesh itself out. This isn't, if this, no offense to you ladies, I really do hope you succeed, but if this goes horribly wrong this year, you're not just gonna cancel, you're gonna try.
We're going to try and fix it and adjust. And if I can bring in enough people and there's enough interest in the program, you know, but realistically, there's very few things that you open the door on something new and it's exactly right the first time. So I'm going to be asking for, and I'm going to ask for constructive criticism, right? And, you know, that's what I said in my letter. We're going to build this program together. Then if you would want to be a part of the 5-day program next year, as opposed to being online and just doing the homeschool portion, we'll always have to have a homeschool for some people. And I want that homeschool to be important too. But if you want to be a part of the 5-day program, this campus is so unique in that it's small. There's only how big it can get because there's only so many bodies we can have here, right? So even still, it would be a different flavor to this program here because it would be very small, very protected. Yes, unless everybody leaves. If everybody leaves, they're like, this is terrible, we're leaving, and we don't correct it and turn this ship around together, right? Then I would have to close it because then I wouldn't have bodies and enrollment to keep it open.
Dr. Taylor, when you get a minute.
Hang on 1 second, you guys.
Hi.
1 second. I have a question here and then I'm coming to you. Thank you for putting your electronic hand up. Sorry, I didn't see it. Be right with you.
I was just gonna say, when she first mentioned we're gonna have to do ingenuity ourselves at home, I'm like, nope, I'm not a teacher. Nope, I'm not doing that. I can't do it. I can't do it. But as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, okay, this is ground floor for everybody. This is so new. COVID threw us all into a tailspin. And so I appreciate the adventure of it.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Mhm.
That's how I'm gonna look at it. I hope I don't get grouchy on it, but I just want to appreciate the adventure. This is new. This is new, and everything's been new in the last couple of years. We've all had to adjust and we gripe and groan and move forward and gripe and groan and move forward a bit more. But I'm just hoping that you know, our kids can grow through this and they'll learn how to be more malleable and adjust to becoming world.
I love that. I love
Thank you.
that.
Great attitude. So what the parent was saying to us was that they understand that this is the ground floor of the. Oh, I'm echoing. Sorry.
Muted.
Yeah, if you're not on mute on your computer, could you mute, please? Okay, and we have some questions here. So they're excited about being on the ground floor and helping us build. Okay, and I don't have your name. Let's see. Oh, Orit, hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for holding this. My daughter had a fever. I would have been right there with you. But I had a couple questions as far as some of the logistics. Will we be getting Edgenuity workbooks again this year, or will the middle schoolers be getting binders like they have previously?
So the elementary K through 5 will get the workbooks. Middle school, they do not have a workbook for them. So they only have those like guided practice notes that Miss Farron printed out last year. And I still have access to those. So it's kind of one of those things where when we start with the program, we have to decide, do you want them in a digital file to move forward, or do you want them printed out? And we'll have to decide that when we get there, but we still have access to those, but they do not have workbooks for the middle school.
No, Miss Farron put those, yeah.
Yeah, you get to choose them, and then you have a lot more freedom of choice as a teacher and as to assign the things that they're taking in the class. So I think that's why they have that online platform with the workbooks and everything as well.
Okay, I know with middle school last year, we were able to pick and choose, kind of bounce around, completing lessons as she kind of followed her interests. We did not have that option for the younger elementary age students. And I know, speaking for my family, it was really frustrating to kind of get stuck where Edgenuity said we were super behind and we couldn't jump into a different, maybe more interesting module that still needed to get done. We would get stuck with assessments sometimes that weren't, being followed up with. I just was wondering if there will be any more flexibility to kind of move within the Edgenuity system for the younger students.
So as far as I know now, there's not that option, but Edgenuity was bought by a parent company.
Imagine.
So I'm not sure of the changes. As I get more information from them, then everything I learn, I'll be sharing with you. So I'll ask specifically about that and see if it is. I'm assuming that it's probably tighter for the elementary school because they want to make sure that they're going in, in the order with the standards, where the middle school, the teacher has more options to kind of, move those things around. But I will definitely ask and see if there is more of that freedom to kind of move through the program a little differently.
Okay, very cool. And then being that it was acquired by Imagine, will we have access to the Imagine suite of apps to supplement, standards and things like that?
So as a district, every student has Imagine Math and Imagine Reading, is that literacy?
Oh, the ELA.
Yes, so we have the Imagine Math and the Imagine Literacy, and every student in the district should have access to that. And I think we can see about getting those in our Clever.
Very cool. And then I kind of missed a little bit about the changes in when students consistently come 3 days a week versus 100% online. Do we have like a total minute count or anything? Like last year, the kids had to do a certain amount of lessons every week in middle school. It was kind of a free-for-all on the elementary side, it seemed. So I don't know. I just want to kind of have a realistic expectation for what my son should be expecting.
For elementary or middle?
Elementary, sorry.
So elementary, so right now, because we don't have Edgenuity, I don't have those answers for you yet.
Okay.
My elementary school teachers haven't had a chance to really go through the program and figure out how it's going. So once we get more acquainted with it, and if there's any changes, then we'll be giving you all of that information. But if they're coming to school 3 days a week and they're coming, every one of those days, and they're getting the projects and they're getting the being able to use those standards here, then it will be, obviously the expectation would have to be a little bit less, a little different on that end, because 4 hours here and 4 hours there is too much to ask from me and you, let alone them.
Right.
So we will definitely be, like we've been saying, we have to figure this out. And so as we move forward, we might say, okay, they're not getting enough of this. So maybe we do take a little bit of time, and now we're going to do some emphasis on a lesson that we need to do. And then you'll be able to skip that if we have that option. We have to figure all of that out. And
okay.
As we do, we will be communicating all of this to you, but we're just kind of trying to get started and then figure out how that's all going to work with the 3 days a week and what that's going to look like.
Very cool. We have a couple questions in the chat. I've asked mine already, but I see that somebody, Jamie has asked, what if they cannot come 3 times a week? And then Holly asked, is Eucalyptus Hill the only in-person location? So we do have some questions in there if you guys don't mind. But again, I really appreciate this. I'm happy to be a part of making this work. And, this is our 3rd year in the program. So hello to everybody. And Dr. Taylor, we have all the hard eyes for you. You are a great leader.
Thank you. We're working on it. Okay, I have another question from Christina. Thank
Hello.
you.
Hi. Yeah, my question was a little bit similar. In terms of let's say my daughter just wanted to come on Tuesdays or Thursday. So I know you said they have that option, but how would we let you guys know? What would we have to give you a day's notice? Hey, we're not going to come tomorrow, or is it just kind of, we just do what we want to do? Or
So when we get to in person, we will gather all that data from you. I think last year they did a survey that would say, I'm coming. Our hope is that your students are going to want to come all 3 days, because trying to make it kind of like a project-based learning environment, we want them to be able to be here and be involved in that project as the days progress during the week. We know that it is still a flexible, independent study, and so that would be something that you and the teacher would want to work out to say, I can't come on Wednesdays. Is there something that whatever you're doing on Wednesday, can they do it from home or still be a part of it or whatever it is? So we are just going to have to work together and figure out how this is all going to work when we start getting in person. We want you to come, but we know that it's still, we want it to still be a little bit flexible. So
Right.
we'll have to work on that.
And then do you mind showing me the third grade teacher? I didn't get to see her earlier.
Where are you? Hi.
Okay, hi. Okay, my daughter will be a third grader. So will they be mixed with other
Fourth
grade
and fifth.
levels?
Yes, 4th and 5th.
4th and 5th. Okay, cool.
I can't wait to meet her.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, I can't remember last week. Can you introduce yourself? A lot of you already know, but.
I'm Kim and then I'm the instructional aide. I love seeing all my students back from last year. It's so great. So hoping to get to do the same thing this year, doing reading intervention and math intervention. So again, they were talking about if your student needs help or is struggling with someone, you'd be able to schedule Zoom with me or in person with me for me to work with your student one-on-one. So, and that's continuing to be part of our program where we get to be more dynamic and get you the help that you think that your student needs for certain things. Once we get school rolling too, I'll be doing the DIBELS testing we did last year so we can see where everyone's reading placement is. So we do have a way to kind of track and focus on who needs help in other areas, but I'm so excited to be back. This is my 3rd year to be here. So I've been where it was home, flex, and now we're dream. So it's really amazing. So hi at home, and I think, I see Miriam's down there. Yes, my friend's down there too. So
Thank
very
you.
excited that we got Miss
Thank
Brenda
you.
back, so.
Real quick question. So is it gonna be you and you as admin? There's not gonna be like the principal in between like we've had in the years past? You're kind of taking the head working in collaboration. So if we have questions and contact, first would be emailing Brooke or like both of you, CC, because I know you probably get flooded. with emails.
You will email Brooke.
Okay.
And so, yeah, but what my role is this is definitely my passion project. And so it's something that I will be involved with probably more so than I trust these ladies implicitly. They're going to build a great program. I'm going to oversee it and suggest, and we'll talk to each other about it. So be in close contact. But Mrs. Dexheimer is your principal, for lack of a better word. Also in the back, we have Miss Kit Butenbach. She'll continue to be your office staff, your school secretary moving forward. So she's the voice you'll get when you call and things of that nature. I hope you guys aren't getting sick with me flipping you around all the time. I'm trying to let you see what's going on. And so I'm like turning as people are speaking and I'm like, I'm probably going, whoa. So I'm going to read, if you guys don't mind, a couple of questions in the chat. And so will students need to complete Edgenuity on in-person days? We'll have to figure that part of it out. We're still working on the minutes of that. So I feel like we did. Will there be alternative packet pickup days available if we can't make it on Tuesday's pickup? We'll have packets for you probably in the office that you
So
can come.
Wednesday and then by
Wednesday
appointment.
is an additional pickup day from
Thank you for coming.
9:30 to 10:30.
So it's Tuesday, 8:30 to 10:30, 8 to 10, and then 8, what do we say? It's on the thing right here. I will give you. this.
Everybody
I
will get
email
this
out, Tell
information.
them that, to make sure that, did everybody get my email the other day? I know it said middle school, but Ms. Kit sent it out. Did everybody get that? Because if you didn't get an email, then we want to make sure
will be
that your
coming
email
email.
address is correct, because that's how we'll be communicating with you. So if you're not getting anything, I'm going to send this out as soon as I get back into my office, and I'm going to give it to the people that are here, but for those of you online, I'm going to be sending you an email with important dates for next week. And so if you don't get this by say 2:30, call the office and get your email checked, because we need to make sure that we have your email correct, because that will be, like I said, your line of communication. And then if you can't make these dates, then you just call the office and make an appointment and we'll get you the stuff that you need. We're here on campus. We just want to make sure we know who's coming and when they're coming.
Okay.
So can I just talk a little bit of logistics? Or do you have
Let me
any
go
more
for the rest of the questions before is there a way to send the packet via email for us to print? Do we have this
I
information?
have it.
No.
In what grade?
Which grade would this one be for? Is there a way to have the packet via email?
It's huge.
It's
And
a
I can
and
send it
they're
as a
in
Google
notebooks.
Doc. Who's that?
5th grade.
I can send, oh, I think I can send it as a Google Doc or on a Google Drive. Is that,
Does that work? Okay, and then do they have your email address that they can email you? For that
I'm gonna have,
information?
hopefully, Ms. Dexheimer will be able to send that to you as well. Mrs. Upchurch.
Okay, and then we have, what if they cannot come 3 times a week? We've talked about that. We're trying to work all of that out with you. When will in-person start?
We are hoping the first week of October
Okay,
is our plan, but I know it's, and it could be sooner. It's just, we have a lot of planning to do and when they come here and they're here for 4.5 hours, and project-based learning is a lot to kind of like organize and figure out, and with Edgenuity. So, and we want to make sure that you have that part down before we're just bringing you here. And we understand what that entails, because if we're not working on that, we don't know, how the pacing goes and all that. We don't give you some time to actually do that. And then we bring you here, we'll never get an idea of what that looks like. So the idea is for us to gather some data as we go through the next month or so, and then start bringing you on campus once we have all that information.
October 1st, is that in campus?
Don't hold me to that date, but that is our goal, is to be ready by then.
The students.
Yeah, students, yes. And you don't have to come.
Did you
every-
guys on Zoom hear that October? Okay, so they're talking about that first week of October. If we can pull it off sooner, we will. We know that some people are really hoping for that as soon as
And we're
possible.
hoping, we will, if we can pull it together, we're thinking that we might have like a day where we can say, hey, everybody come and we're going to do, a reading day, or we're going to do a clean the garden day, or, you know what I mean? Something where we can just at least get them here and interacting and talking with us and getting comfortable with being on campus before they come back fully. So we are working on those dates too. Like I said, I'm going to be communicating with you all the time. You're gonna be going, oh, another one from Mrs. Dexheimer. Oh, another. Please don't do that and read them.
She's saying, please read the emails.
No, read them, because I'm not going to send you anything that's not important information.
She's not
okay?
going to email you and ask you what your favorite color is.
No, I'm not. I'm not. If I'm sending it to you, right? We can talk about Taco Bell later, but what, when
I
I'm
already
sending
put her
you,
on my spam.
when I'm sending you something, it's important information that I need you to have and I need you to read. And if I asked you to respond, if you could respond, that would be appreciated too, because then I know that you got the information and that, and I have the answers that we're looking for.
What's really important to us all, and then I have another question here I'll answer, is that when your students are here, it's meaningful and it's engaging and they are very invested in what they're learning here when they're here. We want to really build a unique school community here, and we want them, what do I tell you guys? It's like, I don't want them saying, I have to go to the bathroom, I have to go to the bathroom. I want them crossing their legs because they're so excited about what they're doing that they don't want to leave the room, So that's what we're trying to build. That takes a little bit of time. And like I said, we just got this. I thought we weren't going to be able to do it. I was afraid that it was done before it even got out of the gate. So we've got this great team. Give us a little grace. Like I said, the class sizes right now are 16. I think is it 16 to 18, the max?
No,
No.
I have 25.
Oh, so we're getting more
Yeah.
enrollment. Okay. All
In the
right.
grade span, yeah.
In the grade span,
So I
yeah.
think it's anywhere between 15 and 25, depending on that.
Okay. All
And
right.
so we're kind of shifting things.
Then
so
it
that
grew.
One
since-
doesn't get really big and one
Okay.
gets smaller.
And I
Or maybe those
imagine
things
that
not
this is a program that does grow during the year, that, you know, people, if they become dissatisfied with their on-school experience, and they start looking to this program for that. So we want to have a little room for growth, but we try to keep the class sizes as small as possible.
So I have a question, seeing as this has been a program for a few years, like the Flex program has existed for a couple years already, and the on-campus has existed already. Is it because it's such a drastic change that it's making it harder for there to be on campus now? Because they've done it in the past, and is it because they have changed everything completely that's why it can't start? Well, they didn't start in the past years either. Miss Minden, are you here?
Behind you. She's behind you. The question was, why can't we start in person right away?
They start last year and the previous year.
About the same time.
Yeah, because we got the dates from Mrs. Barrett, and she said it was about the first week of October.
So
So it's
the-
not different.
The
Right.
plan is to move away from just enrichment
Okay.
to actually like project-based learning, to where they're doing stuff with, so the work that they're doing, like, my goal is, and what we've talked about, is that the kids are excited to do their edgenuity stuff at home, because the information that they're learning and that those standards that they're working on there, they're gonna bring those to campus with them, and then they're going to apply them. And so they want to learn that there so that they can come here and do the things that we're doing. And so that is, but in order to do that, we have to plan things around those standards that are engaging and that kids want to do. And so moving away from just enrichment and more into this whole idea of the project-based learning. Yeah, because we could just do, if we just did the incremental enrichments, it would be a lot easier, but then that's not really changing the program to move towards this ultimate place where we want to be. Yes, ma'am.
Kind of like the enrichment, I've heard of homeschool doing enrichment, like things that they fund for the kids to do outdoors. Does this?
Oh, we'll be doing that. Oh, we're doing it in a little different, instead of just enrichment, we want to wrap it around the standards. So they're still they're using the things that they're learning and applying them in different ways, instead of just doing art or just doing, and so all of those things,
lot of it.
well, no, we
Not all of
actually
it.
have all
No.
kinds of ideas.
We got ideas.
Yeah, we're bouncing things, because we want to incorporate agriculture. We have this amazing like facility, all this stuff, and we have a community that is full of agriculture people don't even know. So there could possibly be like field trips where instead of meeting here, 6th grade doesn't meet, or middle school doesn't meet here this day, or all of the whole school, we're going to the dairy, or we're going to Jared's farm, or you know what I mean, like learning the things that we're doing here, and then how does that look in the real world, and those kind of things. So our goal is to really create this place where kids can come and apply their learning, but in a way that is engaging, but also connect them to the real world.
Life skills.
Life skills, all of those things. So does that answer your question a little bit? Okay. Any other questions? I'll have some logistic things that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're going to go into the logistic portion now, so I'm going to let you take it
Okay.
over there.
I'm gonna cut in line and just get them all.
When you guys are that far away, I don't know that the Zoom audience can hear you.
Oh, I can
speaking.
hear them. That's fine. But because we're all, whoever has iPads, we're moving to Chromebooks. And then whoever already had a Chromebook, a lot of you, this is a new year and now it's a new name. So everybody on the planet needs a new technology agreement. And I'm handing them out here. And when we do the drive-through pickup of packets, we're gonna have those ready for you guys that are at home. And they're green. And the Chromebook agreement is basically the same as the iPad. For those of you who just had iPads, it just has different prices though. You'll fill out the top, and all I want is that top part back because it gives you cleaning instructions and all kinds of instructions on there. Tear off that back part and keep it for your reference because sometimes you'll probably want to look at it.
Do you want that today or on
You
Tuesday
guys that
when
are
it comes?
here, I would love to have the top one today if you brought your black or blue pen. Great. And
Do we have
then,
pens?
what else do you have?
So we have a new agreement, the independent study agreement, and these have to be signed and given to us today.
Or if you're at home, we're gonna have them on pickup day.
No, these have to be, if you haven't signed your independent study agreement, I think, do we have them online? Because we need these before Monday, right?
Well, no, they can come through Monday.
And sign them?
And they can sign them in the pickup. We'll
Okay,
have them ready.
if you, no, we're not doing it Monday.
Does
I
anybody have
mean,
multiple
Tuesday.
children? Maybe you need one more. Yes.
So make sure that you sign your new independent study agreement. If you aren't going to make it Monday or Tuesday, please schedule a time to come into the office to get these signed.
Excuse me, Mrs. Dexheimer, are these available in our parent portal as well as part of the registration documents?
They are not, because they're unique
Okay.
just to our school. And
Okay, thank you.
thank you for that question.
She's gonna talk about that.
Okay, you want to
Sorry. And then we also have, these are super, some of you may have filled out something that looks like this. This is a cardstock copy that's kept in a notebook all year. If your child isn't ever gonna come on campus, it's not such a big deal, but if they are coming, we need this hard copy in the notebook. We're up in the boonies. So lots of times we have lost internet, which means I can't go online and look up your phone number. Or a lot of people get new phones or whatever, and they just forget to update their information in Infinite Campus. So these are also going to be in the pickup packet. And they are a hard stop. On another note, if your child has any medical issues or any medication that you think they are going to need to take at school, or that I should be aware of while they're here, please email me individually, and I will contact you along with the nurse, and we'll get a plan in place for that, because we want to make sure everybody's safe and everybody knows what's going on with everybody while they're here. Yes. Yeah, if you guys that are here, if you have more than one child, you need one of everything for every child.
Will he be bringing the Chromebooks when he goes to in-person?
So that's something we're trying to work out and figure out. So we'll let you know when as we go. We're working on what we can have here and what we can do. So right now, I'm going to say no, but that could change.
Will they have Wi-Fi's?
No.
For here or for home?
For home, not on the internet. We don't have.
On the technology, there's, I believe it says on there, let me
So
look.
then we need to get you in touch with the technology department.
Yeah, because we don't have internet. And then I'm gonna ask you.
I can't at home.
Oh, no, we're not.
Some of the names.
So we need to the names of the people that are on.
Just switched over. So the whole school is into it and also right now the technology.
Folks, could you, if you're at home, could you please type in the chat your name and your child's name so that we can have a list of everybody we need to make sure that we're getting this stuff to you. If you could just put that, drop it in the chat, that would be great.
No, he has to get his own.
Okay.
And I have requested it. I have requested.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Because they'll set him up his own email. It'll be for because there's no ingenuity for TK. That wasn't something that we were ever supposed to have here. So he'll do like.
Is he gonna do packets and stuff?
He'll do more packets than he will, and then she'll have other like, not sesame, what's the little kid one? And it's not just Imagine, but what's the one that little kids use a lot?
For what?
Online stuff. You guys were talking about it yesterday, and they said they want that app.
Is it Starful?
No, no,
Smarties?
no. Yeah, those.
Just keep throwing names out to kids. That's why we.
We'll figure it out.
Starts with that. It starts with that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Miss Hannah.
that was the reason for mine, yeah.
Okay, can I have your attention just for a second, please?
You can step away.
one for each one of your students. It's been kind of modified to go along with the new laws, because the state has changed the independent study laws again, because we kind of moved away from the COVID part of it, and now we're going more back to the more traditional independent study laws, which then allows us, but the great thing is, prior to, independent study programs were only allowed to use coursework as attendance. Now we can use actual in-person, which is a great thing because it is kind of a little less paperwork for everybody. But this is your agreement because it is an independent study program. You're choosing independent study, and you have to know that, and that you are the teacher. We call you a learning coach because we're right here along the side of you, and we as really are the teachers who are giving you, you know, the curriculum, but you're the one in charge of making sure that that is that you have access to it, and that your kids do have access, and that they are doing it, and that you're in contact with us about it. So this is saying that it is the curriculum is being offered online. Because it is, we are going to be using Edgenuity, and that they will be doing it Monday through Friday and daily, and that it will be like the Edgenuity and other platforms depending on what we choose, but that you are choosing the independent study program and you are aware of that commitment, and that your student is aware of the commitment as being in the independent study program. So these are important. So if you I wish we had copies. Miss Kit can make copies if you want a copy of this, and we.
Well, I'm gonna make copies. That's not gonna be today.
No,
because your teacher has to sign it, like a lot of other stuff has to be plugged in, and then I am planning to make copies for everybody to send.
So that you have this, but we can put this online. Like can we send it to the
Well, they were trying to get the ability to DocuSign, and Tech called me today, and they're trying to set me up in Adobe Acrobat so they can sign.
So
right
we
now,
have multiples here. So for those of you in person, I need you to sign one of these for each one of your students. But if you would like to take one home so that you can read through it, we have enough that you are welcome to do that. Okay, so I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to read through and understand what it's asking you and what your commitment is to the program.
So what she was talking about was the independent study contract that we need for each child that is enrolled in the program. So that'll be in your packet that you pick up, and we'll need that signed by several different people, and then it comes back to us. But we want, you are agreeing that you're in the independent study program. That's the flagship under which this whole thing is being built, okay?
It's a legal thing.
It's a legal thing, yeah. While you're looking at that, one thing I wanted to talk about is we're very, very interested in creating just a strong school community as well. So we're talking about having, you'll be having parent lunch days where parents are invited to campus to have lunch with their child. We will be providing lunch for those students that are on campus. So they'll be able to get their lunch at school if they're coming to campus. And we also have what they call a soft breakfast, which means it will be like dry cereal, things like that, that have a long shelf life. But we don't have the facilities to heat things up or do that. So it'll be a soft breakfast, but we will be providing food for the students that are here those 3 days. Also, we're working on, am I right about school shirt?
Yes,
We're working on creating a school shirt. Have we decided on the dragon? Okay, we are going to be the Dream Dragons. And so you will have a Dream Dragon school shirt. And so we're trying to give you every opportunity to be connected to the school as we can. So we'll have parent nights, we'll have you'll have conferences probably. We'll figure out how that's gonna look. But we want to have you involved as well.
Speaking of that, will you be having parent volunteers?
I'm going to go with yes. Because I know the teachers in here like them. Oh, yes. So parent volunteers was the question. And after we get everything set up, then we'll reach out to you with that information. Also, this is a unique thing that we're trying to build. If you know somebody who has an expertise in a certain area, science or agriculture or something like that, please let us know if they want to come and do a presentation for the kids or something like that. We're all open to those ideas.
Now the calendar is online. You guys can access the calendar at any time. It's on the LUSC homepage. But I just wanted to kind of print one out, hang it on your fridge. Sometimes there's changes, so do kind of peek at it. Usually not big changes. But this is the school year calendar, shows you the vacation days, not the early out days, because that has to be updated. But once I see that that's updated online, I'll shoot you guys an email to go on there and print a new one. Has another side to it, but they were not correct.
Okay.
So I think the only other thing left to kind of explain to you a little
had
bit,
her up
and
in
we'll talk about this more come Monday, but is the learning record. So if you were here last year, you know what this is. If you're new to us, this is parents' responsibility. This is saying that your student is working. The days that they're here, that they're present, then you just sign it that they were here and that it was present, and we'll take the role too. But if they're at home and they're working at home, by initialing this, you're saying that your students were working on their curriculum and their work. And then we have to, once a learning period, pull work samples from each of the four core subjects. And we will, the dates will be on them. So there's learning periods, and they're anywhere from 20 or 18 to 20 days. We try to keep them in the month that coincides with the district months. And so we'll be sending out information and reminders that your learning record is due, and then you'll send it in with your student and we'll collect those, and we'll go over that a little more. And if you need help and you're confused, then just reach out. But these are really important because this is how we record the attendance is through these. So if we get audited, we can say, yes, our students are working and doing curriculum. So you'll be getting a whole packet of these, all your learning records, all your PE logs. You'll get all of that in a binder when you pick up the curriculum on the first day. So you'll have everything you need for the entire year of your learning records and your and PE logs in there on the first day, or well, on Tuesday when you pick those up with your first set of curriculum.
I made samples because they are referred to in the contract. There's that final before you sign. I have also reviewed the learning log, so I'm happy to just give them out so you see what you're referring to before you sign.
All right. So we have been with each other for an hour now. And I hope that you have a little bit of a better idea of what we're looking at and what we're trying to create for your students. And we're not trying, we're doing it. We're going to have some adjustments, right? So just like I said, bear with us, and please, give us your constructive feedback too, so that we can make sure that it's working. Anyway, so that's it. Any further questions, Les?
I got the email about the middle school students and the TDS and LMS and stuff, and I was trying to kind of figure that out. Can you kind of break it down and make simpler things, what you mean by like they can go on campus?
Oh, for electives?
Only middle
So,
school.
so
The
middle
question
school
was
has
about
the
middle school
option,
students taking
to
electives
take
at the
courses
middle
on
schools.
campus. So they can take any up to 2 courses. So it could be a core or it can be an elective. I just have to know what it is, which campus and what they want. The unfortunate thing about, I would love to keep them here, and the only reason is the middle schools have these revolving schedules now. So their periods of the day could be any day of the week at any time. So it's not like they just have 1 through 7 and you pick the morning and you go in the morning every day because of the way their schedules are. So with them going to either one of those middle schools for courses, it would limit them being able to come here. So if they want to come here, instead, we would love to have them, but if they want to take the courses, they probably won't be able to come here. Only because of the way their schedules are, but they always have that option to do that. But I just need to know right away because I have to get them registered over there and in those classes because their counselors need to know because they're not on their rosters, but they are a body in the seat. So if they just show up and a teacher's like, who are you? Because they add to, you know, the numbers in their classroom. So I have to do that legwork and then make sure that the teachers know that they're coming and stuff. So it is an option, but we need to get started right away on that if that's something that you're interested in. That's what the
So
survey was about. Yes,
the
ma'am.
response is, please let us know right away if your middle school child would like to take an elective course at either LMS or TDS so that
the
we can
problem
reach
is
out and get
because
them
of the
enrolled in
way
that
the
course.
schedule works there, they probably wouldn't be able to come here, only because they would be, when the times that we're here, their class there could fall at the beginning of the day and the middle of the day. I'm trying to keep them together, but it's so revolving that it would be during the times that they should be here.
So like hybrid, 2 days over there, but then the rest at home, or completely out of flex and just middle school.
No, they would still be
No.
in flex, so you would still do Edgenuity at home, and then I would still be their teacher. They would just take 2 courses over there. Basically, it's almost like when you go to college and you just sit in on a class, right? That's basically what it is. So they don't get a grade from that teacher. They're supposed to do the work and all of that, but they're really just kind of there. They're not on their roster. They're not enrolled in that school. They're still enrolled here. They just go to those classes. But if you look on the email, you can see their
Hold on one second,
schedules
yep.
and they have.
I'm not sure she's registered, so she's coming with me after.
Oh, okay. Is she middle school?
Middle school.
Oh, okay. So it is, some people that if they want it for the language academy, if they came from the language academy, then they still can take their language classes there. But others just take electives, but I'm hoping what we're doing here is going to be kind of enough. Yeah, like really like engaging to where you don't.
Changing those things go. So before we're like 2 days there, like there, but then not like.
Yes. So they, a lot of the kids that went to Flex at TDS didn't go to classes at TDS. They just had the Flex classroom there. So now I've just moved the middle school classroom back here and they're still a part of the Flex program. There were only a few kids who actually took courses at TDS. Yeah. They prefer kind of to come and be a part of the Flex program versus go in there. And if you'll see, the schedules are very 6, 7, and 8. Yes, here, yes.
We have a
But it's
question
very
here
small.
too.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, Ari,
Oh.
did you have a question?
I just wanted to add to the idea of taking a class at the other schools. Yeah, like what you said, it wasn't a lot of people who did it, and it's at the parents' responsibility to drive them, pick them up, and get them where they need to go. Just so people understand, I know that's kind of tricky. It's like hard to wrap your brain around this different way of doing things, but it is just parents' responsibility, and sometimes you just sit in your car and wait for an hour while your kid does a class. So it's a lot.
Right. You're not choosing that this year, correct?
We've never done that personally. Ellie always loved going to her flex classes. It was like the best part of her week is to go see her class and her friends, but there were kids who did do it. It worked out better when kids did classes at TDS, but it really wasn't a lot of kids who did that where they were at LMS, and it was a lot of driving and showing up a little late or whatever to the flex class. So it really wasn't a lot of kids who did it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so when you get everything filled out, and if you don't have any other questions, or then you can go. If not, if you need to talk to us, we're available for that too. If you need to give Miss Kit anything, she will be in the office. But thank you very much for coming. And like I said,
Thank you
keep the
guys online
communication
for logging
doors
in.
open.
We appreciate it. That way we have the same information. Everybody has the same information. So this was also recorded, so I'll post it on our website in case you missed something and want to go back and check the Zoom podcast, and then I'll put it up under our podcast tab. Okay.
Will it be on the Flex School tab? When I clicked the link to the
Oh, you know
Dream
what? That's a better
Academy, it
idea.
wasn't live.
Okay, no,
Okay,
this is being recorded, so I'll put the recording of it under the Flex tab.
Okay, cool. Thank you so
Okay.
much
Give
for
me a couple
everything.
days to get that done, okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you, you guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.